Yeah, hi, I'm Steve from V-Garden, and I'm here at Barrett House at Randwick today, and we're going to set up a vertical garden. Barrett House is a fantastic demonstration site. It's been set up by 3 councils, Randwick Council, Wallara Council and Waverley Council, to show people how you can live more sustainably in a small space. So there's great examples of what you can do inside for saving water, saving electricity, and this really nice permaculture garden to demonstrate how you can grow food in quite a small space. I've had a lot of questions here over the time that we've been here about how can I grow lots of food in a small space. I've only got a veranda, I've only got a small courtyard, what can I do? So that's why we're going to set up one of these babies. We'll show you how to fill it up, how to plant it out, how to look after it, so you can grow lots of food in a really small space really easily. Okay, so we've got a few things here that we'll need to get started. We've got our V-Garden Slim Rack, which is a product that you can buy. It's a vertical garden, really easy for growing food. We've got a drip irrigation system, so it will water itself. We've got some potting mix and some compost that we're going to fill this thing up with. And we've got a range of different plants that we can plant it out with that you can grow. Okay, so one of the first things to think about when you're putting in a vertical garden is sun. Okay, you might be limited if you've only got a balcony on how much sun you actually get. So you probably want to find the sunniest spot you can get. Most plants that you eat will grow with about 4 or 5 hours sunlight a day. And a lot of small spaces actually get a lot of reflected light. So have a look around your space, see how much, see where the warm spots are, see where the sunny spots are. So once you've chosen your wall and you've decided where you're going to put your vertical gardens, it's really simple. The first thing you do is hold the vertical garden up against the wall. Second thing you do is mark your holes with a pencil. The third thing you do is drill the holes, and the fourth thing you do is screw them against the wall. Simple. I'll show you how. Alright, so we've drilled our first 2 holes at the top, and the V-Garden Slim Rack comes with, if you're going into masonry or into brick, with these wall plugs. They're rated to 35 kilos, so they can handle the weight of the slim rack, and they're really easy to use. You just drill your hole and get one of these babies and push it in. It's as simple as that. So that is ready to screw in our screws. So I'm just going to put the top. Put the top screws in, just to hold it in place, and then we'll mark the bottom. We'll mark the bottom where the bottom holes go. So all we need to do this is it's here somewhere. There's a little socket spanner, or a shifting spanner, or any sort of spanner, and we'll just tighten them up a little bit so it doesn't fall off the wall. Okay, so we'll just put it in a few turns just to hold the slim rack in place while we're marking the bottom 2 holes to drill those out. So we're not fully tightening it, it's just holding it in place, just like we did with the top. Mark the spot. Okay, so one of the features of the slim rack is that it's totally waterproof. None of the water seeps out the back or the sides of the product, so we want to keep the holes waterproof. So to do that, when we screw them in, we put in a washer which comes with it, and we supply some silicone. And all you need to do is a nice dollop of silicone on the washer, and then when you put it through, that creates a watertight seal, so the water won't go out and into the wall. We've got all our holes drilled, we've got our wall plugs in place. Now it's just a case of it's a case of screwing it onto the wall. One. A little bit fiddly in here, but we put the bottom screws in to make the unit really secure. There's no way this thing is coming off the wall. So if you're putting in any sort of food garden, I do recommend thinking seriously about putting in a drip irrigation system. It's pretty easy to do. All of these things in this system are just off-the-shelf hardware or nursery items. You can put it together. Very versatile. Any sort of garden you can put one in, and it's just the difference between the garden growing really well and not growing so well. You attach your drip system to a tap with a timer on it, set it to go on as often as it needs to go on, and it saves you standing there with a hose for long periods of time. So if you're time poor, this is definitely the way to go. So these two holes are where the water drains down through the inside of the slim rack, and these holes are for drainage. But we're going to use one of these holes to actually bring the water up for the drip system. And all we do is feed that down like that. So we'll attach this pipe to either a hose or an existing irrigation system onto a tap and a timer, and it'll water itself. So we just need to hook it up properly, and then we'll be all ready to go. Okay, so we've got our slim rack up on the wall, we've got our irrigation in. Next thing we want to do is fill it up with some really good quality potting mix. So a couple of things to look out for when you're choosing your potting mix. Look for this logo, that's the BFA. That is to show that it's certified organic. So anything that's in here has been run past the BFA and it's approved for growing organic food. So the Australian standard actually is a standard that measures the quality of the mix. So it will have a balanced pH, it will have nutrients for the plants to grow, it will drain properly, and it will hold moisture. So that's what you're looking for, those two logos. Or there's another certification logo, which is a NASA logo. But if you can get those two, you're well on your way to good plant growth. To fill up our slim rack, a couple of ways you can do it, but I like to tip it in through the top, and you'll be able to see what happens, and you'll see how the rack actually works to grow plants really well. So what you want to do is just tip enough in just to start it filling up, and then just gently push it down into that back space. You don't want to squash it too hard because you'll squash all the air out of it, but you just want to gently tamp it down. And we don't want to fill it right up to the top because we're going to add some special ingredients above the potting mix to get our plants growing really, really well. Okay, so we've filled up our slim rack with our certified organic potting mix. The next thing we want to do is add some compost just to the top, and that will feed our plants and get our plants growing really, really well. So by far the best compost you can use in your vertical garden or any garden is compost that you make at home. So here's a nice brew out of the compost bin. The other thing that you could use as well is worm castings out of the worm farm. The reason that they work better than, well, any bag product that you'll get is that it's full of life and full of bacteria, full of all the goodness that gets your plants growing. So if you've got homegrown compost, use that. If you've got worm castings, use that. If not, you can buy in some product, but again, look for that certified organic product and the Australian standard product. This one's even got worms in it, so the worms will actually start living in this wall of potting mix. So it'll become a bit of a worm farm as well. Okay, so this is another certified organic material. It's a slow release fertilizer. It's a mixture of all sorts of different materials, and it just slowly releases nutrients and it'll get our plants off to a really good start. So we just need a little bit of a sprinkle of that into our mix. So this stuff in combination with our compost and our fantastic certified organic potting mix will guarantee you get really good growth. Okay, so now the fun bit. We've done the hard work, we put the thing in, we filled it up with the mix, now we get to put the plants in. You can pretty much plant anything in a vertical garden. The only really limit to what you can do is the aspect, how much sun you get. That will determine what you can plant, but also the size of the plant. Obviously you're not going to probably plant a pumpkin or something in this. It just won't cope with the size of the plant. So, but you know, most of your herbs, your leafy greens, all of these things that we've got here, we can put in. All right, so there's some logic to the way we're going to plant this out. The water is going to flow down to the bottom out our drain holes. So we put the plants that like the most moisture down the bottom, the plants that like the dry up the top. So our strawberries will definitely benefit from plenty of water. So we're going to put those down the bottom. We can put 5 plants in here. What else have we got? Lettuces. Lettuces like a lot of moisture, so we'll put those on the next level. Parsley, I think we'll put up here. Tomatoes will handle growing out up the top. And everyone knows tomatoes go with basil, so basil up the top. We'll put our beetroot above our lettuces in the middle. And no, we won't. We'll put some beetroot down here next to our lettuce. No, we won't. We'll put our beetroot up here and we'll put some lobelia next to the beetroot. That'll look fantastic, the purple and the blue. And what else have we got? We got some coriander. Put some coriander up the top here next to our parsley. Oh, we got some spinach. Let's put some spinach next to our lettuce. So now we're ready to plant. So to take it out of the pot, you put your fingers over the top, tip it upside down, bit of a shake, out she comes. Really nice root system. And we just dig a hole, just big enough for that root ball. Pop it in, backfill, that'll go well. Again, upside down, dig the hole, plug it in. All right. So that's how to plant it out. Really easy, really quick. Next step, really important, we're going to put some mulch on the top. Now this stuff is chopped lucerne. It's possibly, I reckon, the best mulch you can use for growing veggies. And all we need to do is cover the surface of the whole rack with at least a couple of centimeters of mulch. And what that does, it keeps the moisture in, it keeps all our worms alive, it keeps our soil alive, and it also, as it breaks down, it feeds our plants. So the only thing you really need to keep in mind when you're mulching is to keep a little bit of space around the stem of each plant. If you cover it up too much or push it in too close, there's a chance that the plant will get too moist and it might die. So give it a little bit of air around the stem. So all we need to do is turn it until we get enough water coming out so it will fill up this bay. And pretty soon we should start to see the water dripping out the bottom. So now the drippers are pretty consistently dripping. They'll water each level. The water will fill up, it will drain down the back of the unit all the way down the bottom. Come out here. When it starts overflowing, we've probably got these guys set a bit too fast. So you can just adjust over time just to get the right flow. And it really only takes, once you're set up, only takes about a minute or two to water the whole thing. It's really water efficient. Okay, so as well as setting up the drippers, it's always nice at the end of setting something up to give it a good drink. It settles the mulch in. You know that everything's getting a good water, and it's just one of the most relaxing parts of the job as well. So There we are, we've set up our slim rack. It's quick, it's easy, it's ready to go. These plants will be giving us food in about 4 weeks. Okay, so that's how to install a vertical garden. There's lots more stuff going on here at Barrett House, so come on down, have a look. You can wander in anytime. There's things going on in the garden, there's things going on inside. It's all about sustainability, it's all about things that you can do at home. Check out their website, reduceyourfootprint.com.au. Lots of good ideas there too. And get growing.